I will tell you this. This is what's interesting, and I don't think a lot of people understand this. The perception of the brand in the marketplace is bigger than what the brand actually is. Right? That's
a
my
good way
take.
of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, I told you.
It's actually unreal.
When I was at the Lions game, the guy next to me
Yeah.
ends up, he's a distributor. I don't know if you got a hold of that guy, but
I emailed him and I texted him, but he didn't respond yet.
And I said, well, what do you distribute? He says all these different drinks, all these different beers, whatever, in the States. And then he says BioSteel. And I'm like, oh, what do you think about BioSteel? He's like, oh, my son loves it. He's in hockey. That's their go-to drink, whatever. I'm like, funny, my friend just bought the company in Windsor. I'm like, here, He's like, oh, we just ran out. I need to get some more, actually. So then, so, but it's bigger than, like, it's a big company. It's a big brand.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It's bigger than I wouldn't say it's bigger than I thought. I will tell you this. This is what's interesting, and I don't think a lot of people understand this. The perception of the brand is actually bigger than what it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's not bigger than I thought. It's bigger than I knew. Like, I just didn't know, right? Because I'm not playing hockey. I don't drink these drinks because I'm not an elite athlete anymore.
Anymore. Yeah. So, and that was my take on it as well. Is that and obviously when you pump $400 million into a brand within 3 years or whatever, 3-4 years. That perception is gonna there's like a ton of momentum behind it. So, it's bigger than what the perception of the brand in the marketplace is bigger than what the brand actually is.
Interesting,
right? That's
a
my
good way
take.
of putting it. Yeah.
So, I'll give you an example. BioSteel this year, we're getting a little off tangent here, but BioSteel in fiscal 2024 was going to do over 9 figures in revenue. And the brand, for all intents and purposes, probably in the market, I wouldn't say maybe on social media, whatever. It wasn't bigger than, say, for example, Prime. But Prime does like 10 times the amount of business. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But in the marketplace where this product was, and at least in Canada, in the States, I don't think it was the case. In our neck of the woods, I think it was just as big. But the sales figures were dramatically lower. And I think the reason for that is that this brand just the strategy for the U.S. market just wasn't there.
In what regard? Like, what was missing?
They were trying to be everything to everyone.
Interesting.
And it's a Canadian brand. I don't necessarily know that people know that it's a Canadian brand, but the brand is predominantly a hockey brand, and hockey's just not as big in the U.S. Obviously when you take those other brands, so as an example, Gatorade, it's owned by Pepsi. Powerade, owned by Coke. Body Armor, owned by Coke. So they have the distribution channels behind those powerhouse brands to be able to put it in front of everyone, right? Whereas you take another brand like Prime, they have the social media presence behind them to convince distributors to put it in front of everyone. Whereas this brand, it's got like this niche that lives in hockey, but not really in any other sports. Like you like basketball, right? For whatever reason, but you probably didn't even realize that this brand was the main sponsor for the Lakers.
No idea.
Like, yeah, up until like not long ago.
Wow.
The Nets, the Raptors,
damn,
a couple football teams, like, you know what I'm saying? So
big, yeah.
Think about that, right? Like not even a lot of people even knew that. So when I say they lacked kind of, I don't know what the right answer is for the US. I know how I would do it. And
sounds like lack focus.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know what the actual answer is, but I think that potentially
to get into those other brands, you got to probably spend a lot of money.
Like
to get into the NFL and NBA.
Gatorade's. I was told that Gatorade's deal with the NFL is like $80 or $100 million a year. That's fucking crazy.
Just for one,
1 year, but it's a 10-year deal. It's like $1 billion deal.
Wild.
Like, isn't that nuts?
Yeah. And Gatorade's how old of a business, right? It probably took them 30
Super
years
old.
to get to that level.
So the interesting thing too is like if you actually look at the inception of the two brands, Gatorade started in football. It was a Florida Gator that started it, or someone tied to the Florida Gators. And then after like 15 years of focusing on football, then they started branching out. Mm-hmm. This was started in the NHL by an NHL player. Mm-hmm. So it's like what BioSteel is to the NHL, Gatorade is to to football. It's It's the same thing, right?
And I think there is danger when these companies try to like play catch up too fast. I've seen it before with like Under Armour. They were coming up. They were a nice, like, kind of niche brand, but they tried to be Nike, doling out big contracts, and all of a sudden, like, because I would watch their stock, so I'd see all these reports, and they're like, they have to sell all their stuff at discount brand outlet malls to keep up with the sales volume for all the money they're paying out.
Yeah.
Their brand got diluted.
Yeah.
It no longer was like a cool brand, or it became like the lesser than Nike, rather than just kind of staying in their lane and growing slowly.
Yeah,
and I've seen that with Coach as well, and other
even staying with like they made really good Under Armour stuff, right? They made under gear stuff.
Yeah,
like fucking stay with it. Like that's what they were known for. Was it not? Like I remember specifically buying their stuff for when I was playing hockey.
Yeah, it wicks the sweat away and whatever else. Yeah,
like so stay in your lane. Sometimes it's worth like not getting out of that lane.
Possibly, or doing it intelligently and slowly rather than like spending hundreds of millions of dollars to try to catch up and then just kind of getting smoked.
Yeah, exactly. And staying true to what it's true to its like,
its origins.
Yeah, staying true to its origins, right? So